Let's put a trigger warning on trigger warnings.
Welcome to 31 Triggers. I am Philip Galinsky. I am, so you know what you're getting into, a writer. I have books, all right? 31 Triggers is a book series for kids and adults. I have an award-winning podcast about triggers. I have 4 older brothers. That's a trigger. I have a lot of stuff going on, and tonight I want to share some of that with you. Also, if you experience some kind of triggers in your own life, it's an open forum. Obviously, this is the triggers of contents, but as we all know, like Baskin-Robbins has 31 flavors. Sometimes people say the trigger's too soon, you can't be doing something about it. Like, you guys remember when the billionaires went down to the Titanic? And it triggered me, and I wanted to talk about it. I said, no, it's too soon. I do have a great joke that goes along with the Titanic. That it shouldn't trigger people, and really, it's too soon. Do you guys want to hear it?
Sure.
Yes. There's this Jewish guy and this Chinese guy, and they're at opposite ends of the bar. And all night long, the Jewish guy's giving the Chinese guy dirty looks, right? Finally, he finishes his drink. He walks up to the Chinese guy and he goes, boom, right in the face. Then the Chinese guy goes, what the hell is that for? He goes, that was for the bombing of Pearl Harbor. The Chinese guy goes, you idiot, that was the Japanese. The Jewish guy goes, Japanese, Taiwanese, Chinese, it's all the same to me. He goes, sits down. So the Chinese guy finishes his drink, walks up to the Jewish guy, punches him right in the face. The Jewish guy goes, what the hell was that for? He goes, that was for the sinking of the Titanic. The Jewish guy goes, sinking of the Titanic? That was an iceberg. Chinese guy goes, Bloomberg, Goldberg, iceberg. Yeah!
Did he trigger you last night the way he triggered me?
So like I said, I'm the youngest of 5 boys, no sisters. A mother and father that were glorious in raising us, but also helped me with our beginning triggers, which number 1 is my condolences, which triggered me because I knew my mom's 92 and I knew she was sick, and I knew the ambulance came to the condo to get her. She got better, she got home. A buddy of mine, I grew up in Wethersfield, Connecticut, texts me, my condolences. I'm like, what? So I call my mother right away. I'm like, hello? She's like, hello? I'm like, you're alive! She's like, yeah. I said, people think you're dead. Why do they think you're dead? She goes, oh, this condo. And I go, what? Well, when the emergency guys got me, they put me in the gurney, I put the sheet over my head because I didn't want anybody to see me. I said, you're kidding me. So she's 92. She's been with my dad. It's the only person she's been with, right? That we know of. But there was no internet back then, so back off. It's my mother. So I call her every week, and this time I call her because she just had a physical exam, so that was triggering to her, you know, when you get old. So I said, how did it go? And she was very quiet. It's okay. I said, what's wrong? He said, like cancer? No! I'm like, okay, well, what is it? Well, the doctor asked me a question, and I said, that's what they do, Mom. Well, he asked me if I was sexually active. And I said, no, I usually just lay there. Do you think he's a pervert? I said, no. I said, it's probably the greatest line he's ever heard in his life. So I told my mom.
Did she really say that?
Yes! Yes! These are all true. And this depression, when I told my mom, I'm doing this thing about triggers and I'm also going to therapy. She's like, good for you, Philip. Very good. Right? So she goes, you know, I get depressed a lot lately. And I was like, well, what do you do before you go to bed? Because usually that's kind of will help you either, you know, be good or depressed. She goes, oh, I watch the news. And I go, Mom, you can't watch the news before you go to bed. Okay, Oprah, what do you and your therapist think I should do? I said, she said to me, do something you enjoy before you go to bed, right? So I call her the next week. She is bouncing off the walls. And I'm like, hey, Mom, I want some of that. What is it? What is what? I'm just happy, Philip. I took your advice, and I do something that I love to do before I go to bed. I said, what is it? She goes, I grab the newspaper, and I open up the obituaries, and I read about my friends. and I'm alive and they're dead. And that makes me feel good. And I was like, great. She goes, because we have our reunion every year now because they're dropping like flies. I was like, when is it? She's like, it's at a lunch. You get a coupon. It's pretty fun. There's like 6 of us. So that's sort of the impetus of how this works. Now, we're going to combine whatever family trauma I had with your family trauma, plus new phrases that you may not be aware of. Have you heard of this one called spot burning? There's a no, right? Okay, good. Spot burning, okay? A friend of mine I teach him voiceover, podcasting, and acting, and as a barter, he took me out fishing with him and his guide, Mike. And so I had a little fun at the beginning here.
All right, what's going on, guys? So we back out here with Captain Mike, and I'm here with a special guest today, Philip.
Hey, hi, everybody.
So this is my acting coach. For those of you that don't know, I'm also an actor. So this guy, he's been helping me out with my career.
And we're gonna act like we caught a lot of fish today. He goes, dude, this is a great spot. And the last time we were here, we caught 40. And I was like, cool. He goes, but you can't tell anybody. Because that's, if you do something on your phone, they're gonna find the location and they burn the spot. And that's spot burning for all your fishermen. You don't want to tell people where you're going, right? And I go, it triggers me to another level. I go, well, wait a minute, okay? There's this phrase that I know called catch and release. He's like, yeah. I said, that's what we're gonna do, right? He's like, yeah, if they're not big enough, you just put it back. And if you don't want to take it, you just put it back. So I said, we're not catching 40 fish today. We're catching the same fish 40 times. Oh, no. I said it's 600 years. Fish have not figured out bait and a hook. That's their problem. Oh, you're wrong. So we're out on the water, and I'm like, dude, what's with Mike? Mike's supposed to be giving me some love. This is after we started catching some fish. And Mike's driving the boat. He's all sad. And I go, what's with Mike? Like, you told me he's fun. Oh, he just broke up with his girlfriend. Get out of the way. I know exactly what to say to this guy, especially this guy. So he's driving the boat, and I put my arm around him, and I go, Mike, you of all people should know, there's plenty of fish in the sea. And then we had a great time, right? So I tell my nephew about our fishing trip, and he goes, wow, let's go fishing. So we go fishing, we don't catch anything, we catch one. And it goes off, we're going to take that picture, and it flips off the dock, and he dives down and grab it, and he comes back up, and he's got the hook in his nose, right? And we're like, oh no. And in typical Galinsky fashion, we don't go to the hospital right away. We move people, get out of the light, we got to post picture of this on the gram, everything like that. Mothers are like, get out of the hospital! We're like, get out of the light, all right? So we start shooting it, we're having a great time, and of course there's that old guy on the dock, right? And he walks by, my nephew's like, and he's like, I've seen a hook in the back, I've seen a hook in the ear, never one in the nose. And he's like, this is awesome, Uncle Phil! So you guys see the picture, that's why this is coming up. Now you look very clearly. Do you see it? Oh. Do you see how happy he is? So it's there, right? He's totally ecstatic. He goes, what's going to happen? I said, well, your dad's going to have to drive you to the hospital. They're going to probably take a needle and numb your nose and yank out the hook. Now he starts bawling. He's like, they're going to put a needle in my nose. I said, you already have a hook in there! Years later, he's older. He goes to this really good cooking school. He's a really good chef, right? And we decide, my brothers and I, we want to get a tattoo of our father, of the logo of his store. This is it. You see that, right? Saul's Prescription Center, right? It's pretty cool, right? The brothers, most of the brothers back out. Most of the brothers say, my kid's not doing it, right? But then the kids come down to New York. We go to a tattoo parlor. I go first. And the bet was that Uncle Phil's going to want to have like 40 tattoos after this first one. And I was like, as soon as I got out of the shower, I'm like, let's go, let's do it! And then I had my mom's cursive handwriting on my other arm from a note she wrote to me. And my nieces and nephews are like, I can't read it. I'm like, yeah, but when you open up a birthday card, you're shaking out the check from Grandma, aren't you? So it says, to Philip Saw, I love you so much, Mom. Isn't that nice? Right? And then that's the tattoo, right? So everybody's getting the tattoo. Greg is next. Remember, this is Greg the fish guy and the chef guy. Okay? I go to grab some coffees. Come back, there's an ambulance in front of the tattoo parlor. What the hell is going on? Walk in, Greg's on the stretcher. I said, what happened? They go, he's afraid of his own blood. He saw his blood on them when they were doing the tattoo. I said he's a chef! He's gutting things! And he gets up and goes, it's different when it's your own blood. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Trigger warning.
There's another trigger phrase called internet shaming. Kind of antiquated, but still out there, right? So my friends and I, when Facebook first came out, we made a group, our high school friends, and we would have a group, and we'd go in there, and we'd take pictures of funny old t-shirts and, you know, cassette players and crazy stuff. And then we started doing trivia. Like, who was the girl in 9th grade? You know, that kind of stuff, right? So, as you guys can see, I'm a pretty spectacular looking male specimen. And I was really good at swimming. Really good. My brothers were good at swimming. It was some weird genetic thing. And my second oldest brother was really good, and he had a friend that was really good, and his friend got to go to Wake Forest on a scholarship, and his friend dropped dead in the swimming pool in Wake Forest. And so they made this award, Stephen R. Schultz Award. And every year, like my brother Andrew got it, then my brother George got it, and it was my turn to get it, right? But my problem was two things. One, I just realized, which was pretty messed up. Well, it's all messed up, but one is I hate swimming practice. What do you do at swimming practice? Swim. That's it! There's no strategy. There's nothing, right? It's just swim laps and swim laps. So to make it more interesting, our coach decided, you know what you guys should do? Shave your legs and arms. Get all the body hair off you. Okay, like Brazilian it. Do it all, right? That way, when you hit the water, it'll shock you and you'll even go even faster, right? Then he takes it a step further. He goes, but I want you to put pantyhose on your legs and arms while you're practicing so your body doesn't know that you shaved your whole hair. So we're high school boys walking around a pool deck with pantyhose on our legs and arms. This is a true story. All right? And I'm a little hairy. I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm like the human sweater. But I got it all gone, right? I did it. I did the whole thing. And I went to the beach. And my nephew was there. And I took off my shirt. And I go, hey, what do you think? And he goes, you look brighter. So anyway, I want to get back to the story. So they're like, oh man, you're going to win it. Your brother's giving you the award. It's going to be really cool. Passed down, just that and a third. Ceremony, my brother Andrew starts talking about how great I am, right? And I'm like, oh shit, I'm really going to get it. So I start walking up. This is pre-internet, thank God. I start walking up, and literally, I know there's people on left and right going, like, they know I'm not getting it. Like, and I'm just like, right? I grab the award, and the announcer goes, and this is for Andrew Skarzinski. And then Andrew, the kid, was really good. He was really nice. He said, thanks for warming it up for me. And he grabbed it, and I go, here you go, there's a fucking trophy. Fuck you. Anyway, right? So I go to my brother backstage. I go, what the hell was that? What are you telling me? He goes, because I knew you lost. I didn't want you to feel bad, right? So I write in the thing, in the Facebook trivia. You ready? I write this as a joke. That's why I want to go into this. And by the way, the book has like a journaling component. It's pretty cool, right? It says, bring your answer to this. The greatest 12th of the year is 1988. Who is the jackass who thought he won the Stephen R. Schultz Award for men's swimming at Wethersfield High School and went on stage to grab it? Fill in the blank. Also, find what a bonus question, who actually won the award? Who actually won the award? Does anybody remember what I said?
Andrew Galinsky.
All right. Someone gets a book. Congratulations, you got a winner! Who wants it? All right. So wait. So listen. So here's the response. Everything is a joke. This was right. Am I losing my mind? This was just playful stuff on the internet. Jeffrey Morrison. Is it necessary to shame someone for their actions? 34 years ago. Not cool, in my opinion. I write, Jeff, I'm shaming myself! Which is the answer to the first part of the question and praising the actual winner.
If you want to get triggered, get triggered.
A couple here on the list, when I was talking to people at the pre-show, a couple of things had startled you. Like one of them was it keep refrigerated? You want to know why that's triggering?
Yeah.
I'll tell
I
you
know
what.
why it's triggering.
Well, it's triggering.
Why is it triggering?
To me,
Yeah.
because first of all, don't tell me what to do. That's number one. Secondly, when it's on Vita Coco and the coconut waters, hey, the last time I checked, the coconut is in the sun on the beach. I don't see anybody wrapping that thing in the refrigerator. Keep refrigerated. See? Am I right? Or is yours different than that?
Mine's probably better, but you
Go
know.
ahead.
whatever, man.
What is it? Tell us, share with the group.
It's seriously triggering.
Why?
Okay, when you get medicine from the pharmacy, do you ever expect that you're going to get something from the pharmacy and have to put it in the refrigerator? Of course not.
Never.
You get your medicine, you go home, you put it on the counter, you give it to your kid who's sick. My kid was sick, the pharmacist didn't tell me that it had to be kept refrigerated. It went bad. I couldn't give it to my child. I had to go back to the pharmacy crying.
Thank you for sharing. Listen, I was a kid once too. I had a pre-existing condition, okay?
That's on the list?
Yeah, it's on the list,
Okay.
pre-existing condition. But it goes beyond a lot of things. Like, as I told you before, I was a superior athlete, right? Well, still am, but I blew out my knee playing handball in New York City. And so the doctor says, we're going to have to give you an ACL repair. Do you have any pre-existing conditions? And I was like, oh boy, going back to childhood. And I said, yeah, I used to wet the bed, like bad. And he goes, well, that's not really the condition. No, I said, doctor, no, it was bad. Like, my parents bought a metal sheet attached to like a car battery. And the doctors had told him, and it's a real thing, you can look it up, it's called a wheeler. And the doctor said that I was a very heavy sleeper. And so what this thing did is when I pee, it shocks me until my brain and my bladder get synced up. But I didn't sleep for 3 damn days because I was petrified of this thing. That's how I got cured. Or at least I thought I got cured. Right? So I get to the surgery and, he's talking about, I said, we could do a local. So like I was like laying there, and I believe a local is like you lay and you're numb from the waist down, right? And there's like a curtain covering me, right? So they're doing, he's talking about sports, and it's like I'm hearing squishy shit, and I'm just like, knock me out. This is too weird, right? So when I wake up, I see fluid everywhere. And I go, oh man, I told you I used to wet the bed. And he goes, oh, no. We were laughing. You kept coming in and out of consciousness. You were really funny. And I was like, why? He goes, because you kept asking us if it's going to be a boy or a girl. And I was like, oh my God, right? So I go, they wheel me into my room, and I see my name. You have your name in the thing when they go back in the room. Philip Galinsky. Bed wetter. Bed wetter. So everybody knows going down the hallway. I pressed the button for the nurse, and I was furious. I was like, where's the patient confidentiality? Everybody in this hospital knows that I wet the bed. She's like, how? I said, did you see the thing outside? My bed. Bed wetter. She goes, that's bed W, so that's bed near the window. So when they come bring you food, they know. Could you see how someone could misinterpret that? Someone as delicate of a flower as myself? One that really grinds my gears is abbreviations. You guys, it's especially if it's your birthday and you get a text that just is HBD.
Oh, gross.
It's like you can't type it. So I've gotten to the point where my niece did that to me, and I was like, Really, HBD. You know, what I do sometimes is I'll send a link to the Dora the Explorer thing because it's a birthday thing. So I take some effort, I copy and paste, I do something! So I got this and I was just furious. And I said, save as, put it in there, something's gonna happen in your coconut, keep it refrigerated, right? So, like about 3 weeks later, I get a card from her, a beautiful card, and I'm like, wow, did someone tell her that I was that mad? She's mailing me like an apology card, and I was like, wow. So I open it, and it's save the date. She's getting married. It's like that request, really nice. And I go, gosh! I got on Instagram, took a picture of the card, and then said, so excited, my niece just gave me an STD.
Nice.
I'm a dick.
That's
Sometimes
so
I'm a dick. Sometimes I'm a dick.
That's beautiful.
Everybody started freaking out, and then I said, save the date. Oh, very clever. Cancel culture and 4 words. They're 2 different things, but I'm just letting you know so you know how this is going to end. So, cancel culture, you're aware of cancel culture, right? So I do podcasts with kids, and I was doing some work in the projects in Chelsea. Yes, there's projects in Chelsea. It's not just a highlight. Yes. So our group, our teen services team, wins a civic award for the best podcast because we talk about different subjects and college and career readiness and things like that. So we're at the dinner, and we go up to get the award, and the kids are like, well, we owe it all to Philip. He's really good. He's really funny. He tells great jokes. He's super. And then, of course, someone in the crowd goes, tell a joke! So this is a crowd of rich people, poor people, everything, every mixed, the melting pot. And in my brain, I'm like, okay, all right, here. I said, hey, where's the best place to work if you have only one leg? IHOP. Right? Everybody laughs, it's fun. I get off stage. What was that? This is like the CFO. I said, what do you mean? What was that? You nearly alienated a third of the crowd. I was like, there's no one-legged people in the fucking crowd. Like, what are you talking about? And I said, if you had one leg. It wasn't like I picked someone out randomly, right? And she goes, well, we're gonna have a meeting with you, and so Monday morning we have a meeting, and I get let go, right? And the kids are like totally upset. And we're gonna do a change.org. I said, look, it's okay. These things happen. It's fine. I'm okay. Go to the Legal Aid Society. Just do that for us, Philip. So I said, fine. I'll talk to a lawyer, see if there's anything that can be done, right? So I go to the lawyer, and I say, hey, I was freelancing with this nonprofit, and I said a bad joke, and I got fired, and I want to know if there's anything you guys can do about it. And she goes, well, what's the joke? It's like bracing for horror movies. So I tell her the joke. She goes, that's not bad. I go, it's not. She goes, no, it's not bad at all. I said, okay, I have a follow-up to it. Do you want to hear it? She said, yes. I said, okay. What is the name of the female manager who runs the IHOP who only has one leg? She goes, I don't know. And I said, Eileen. Right? She goes, Peg is a good one too. So she goes, we could fight it, but they're going to have really good lawyers. They're going to drag you through this. You were a consultant. You really didn't work there, so there's not much we can do, right? And I said, you know what? I figured that. I figured I didn't have a leg to stand on. Now, here's my final one for the evening. It's the 4 words, okay? These are the 4 words that every kid hates, but when they're an adult, they love using them. So they hate it when they're a kid. You hated it when you were a kid, but you couldn't wait to use it when you're a parent, okay? Now just follow me with this, okay? So I'm probably like 9 or 10 years old. It's a Saturday. I clean my room, do my homework, come downstairs, say to my mom, clean my room, did my homework, I'm going to Frankie's for a sleepover. She says, no. I say, why? She says, because I said so. infuriating, triggering, right? So I go, all right. I go in the living room because my dad's there. I don't think they're working together. So I go, hey, Dad, can I go to Frankie's for a sleepover? And he's got a 5-word sentence. What did your mother say? And I go, shit! But it still doesn't stop me, right? So I go to my mom. Tommy's mom's letting him go. She says, I'm not Tommy's mother. Right? So then I was like, okay. Then she gets right in my face. This is the best. Right in my face. Philip, do I compare you to other children? No. Don't you ever compare me to another mother. And that was it, right? Years later, as I'm putting this triggers thing together, I realized also what she did for me, which was great. She said, because I said so, but she knew about my bedwetting problem and didn't want me to go to be embarrassed, right? And she said to me, this was so sweet, we were talking about it, she said to me, sometimes because I said so means this really, Philip, because I love you. Thank you! Before you leave, do one thing for me. If you're going to be sexually active, don't just lay there. Thank you! Special guest at my show tonight, right there. Come down, check it out. Special guest, free Tai Chi with my friend.